Ireland is not known for producing many pop bands in the 60s, but one band reached Beatlemania-type fame, and that was Emmet Spiceland. And we're going to listen to selections from their lone album here on Pop Goes the 60s.
Oh, then may I marry you?
The mid-60s in Ireland, the folk groups still kind of ran the scene. They were the most popular bands that you could see at the time. The rock bands took kind of a second place to groups like the Johnstons, the Emmet Folk Group, and the Spicelanders. Now those were three of the leading folk groups in Ireland at the time in 1966. And those groups disintegrated, and the cream of the crop from those bands formed Emmet Spiceland. It was kind of the best of the Irish folk scene. This is a group of only three guys, namely Donald Lunny, vocals, guitar, and bouzouki, Michael Byrne, vocals, banjo, and mandolin, and Brian Byrne, his brother, vocals, banjo, and mandolin as well. So the thing about this band, aside from incorporating more contemporary music into the old folk traditional songs, is they had pin-up good looks. So their popularity got them a record deal with Page One Records, and this was owned by Larry Page. And Page had signed groups like the Trogs and Vanity Fair. So Emmet Spiceland was the next band to be hired, and they released their first single called Lowlands Low.
Oh, the lowlands, oh, the lowlands, oh, sailing for the lowlands, oh.
Noted for their tight arrangements and beautiful harmonies, this song didn't chart, but their next single went to #1 in the charts, and that was called Mary from Dunglow. The success of Mary from Dunglow started an international festival that is still going on today. Everything seemed to be going their way, and they were signed to do an album.
In the first day of spring in the year 93, the chief recreation was in this country. Sora sora bra, sora sora jukki do, sora sora bra, jukki do no one do, yalma bra do se kincha to jukki.
I've always been a sucker for great harmonies, and like any great Irish folk song, they typically want to make you get up and dance, which these songs obviously do. Now, the good looks of the band also helped them chart well, but they really did a wonderful job of bringing these old Irish folk songs and combining them with some pop sensibilities.
Oh, 'tis why my love slides me, as you might understand. For she has a freehold and I...
So let's have a look at the album here. This is what it looks like. It's called The First. And what people didn't know at the time was also going to be their last. But yeah, as you can see here, good looking guys. And the harmonies you heard, very good harmonies. They had the chops where it counted. And this album has quite a good mix of your typical Irish dance songs, and they also some sad Irish songs as well.
Oh, you're welcome home again, said the young man to his love. I have waited for many a night and day. Undaunted I ramble my true love to find, when I met pretty Susan with cheeks like a rose, and her bosom more fair, and like a lovesick leaden sheet. She hath my heart in thrall.
So what makes this album a little bit interesting is that there's some spoken dialogue in between the songs. And on this next song, they introduce the actual writer of the song.
The next track is very interesting. It's the only contemporary song on the LP, and it was written by Shea Healy.
When
Now, although Emmet Spiceland introduced some contemporary sounds to their music, they also include some very traditional folk songs.
But the tax is getting higher, and I can no longer stay. So farewell unto you, bonny, bonny, sleeve gallant brave.
Their album had done fairly well, and they kept releasing singles. So in 1969, they released 3 other singles. Now these singles were a little bit more poppy than anything on the album, and this next song was a cover of a Leonard Cohen song, which clearly was going in a pop direction.
Come over to the window, my little darling. I'd like to try to read your palm. Used to think that I was some kind of gypsy boy. Before I let you take me home. So long, Marianne, it's time we began to lie.
Of these singles, only one of them was a hit, and after a short U.S. tour, by 1970 the band had broken up. Brian Byrne went on to achieve fame in the London production of Jesus Christ Superstar, and the other members just kept their hand in the folk scene for a number of years, but that was pretty much the end of the group. Now, one of the things, this album it's a little hard to find in the States, but Record Store Day released a copy of this a few years ago, so you can still get it on vinyl. I don't think it's even available on CD. It was reissued once in the early 70s as well with a different cover. Now, I know this isn't the regular kind of band I cover on this channel, but I thought this would be a unique opportunity to bring you a band who I really like, and given the time of year, I thought you might appreciate some Irish music. So here they are, Emmet Spiceland. This album is not very easy to find, but like I say, you may be able to find the Record Store Day release, and you can find it on YouTube as well. So if you want to listen to the full album, it's there for you. So I thank you for listening, and please join me again here on Pop Goes the 60s.